That's better. I don't think I need a light on. Sorry for being so casually dressed, but it's still hot here and I've got my very fine suit on. But welcome one and all. God bless you. Nice to see you. I still haven't worked out how to make these comments bigger, so I'm really struggling to see them. Scott Phillips, how you doing? Ewan Eggerstrom, how you doing? Anthony H, God bless you. Scott Phillips. And Westover's there. And Peter Holden, how you doing? Brian Surrock, how are you? I'll try and figure out at some point how to make these comments bigger. But in the meantime, we're doing okay. We're on. This is annoying me, this thing here. Just doesn't seem to be sitting right. Try that. Okay. Everyone's a mess behind here, as you can see. But don't worry. We're all right. We're okay. We've got some stuff to do today. And we'll see. But let's have a wee word of scripture first. I want to read you something from Psalm 90. Psalm 90, verse 1. Hear ye the Lord. Lord, thou hast been our dwelling place in all generations. Before the mountains were brought forth, or even thou hadst formed the earth and the world, even from everlasting to everlasting. Thou art God. Thou turnest man to destruction and sayest, return, ye children of men. Amen. And we know the Lord will add his blessing to this, the public reading of his infallible, inspired, and inerrant word. And the people of God said, amen. Amen indeed. What's that I've got there? Yeah, I don't know if you get these wee things in America, but this is my wee, the Psalter and Church Hymnary. It's a Presbyterian thing. So it's basically got psalms, paraphrases, and hymns. It's a great wee thing. We used to get them years ago, but now all the churches are into these overhead projectors and music and that. But in the old days, everybody had one of these. So you had hymns, psalms, paraphrases, and hymns. And it's fantastic. And it was all different things. The Christian life, trust and resignation, pilgrimage and rest, consecration and discipleship, prayer, aspiration and holiness, the Christian life, penitence and faith. This is when the churches used to teach you things, and everybody used to get these wee kids, and you grew up learning these. And if you needed a hymn for a certain thing, missions, you could find it. You could just go through here. Burial of the dead, marriages, baptisms. All the hymns were there that correspond to them. You know, unbelievable. But when was this printed? Wait, I'll tell you. Oh no, that's the Assembly, the General Assembly, of Presbyterian Church in Ireland. I think it's about 1960 or something. Revised edition. The modern edition, 1960. They don't give anybody these anymore. So churches now, you walk in, a screen comes down, and a chorus line goes up, and everybody just sings a chorus. Nobody's going home with one of these for personal devotions. Crazy. So you can, the Book of Common Prayer is much the same. Much the same. Book of Common Prayer is brilliant. So if you don't have one, get one. I would recommend you get a Book of Common Prayer. Absolutely fantastic. It's funny to think the Scottish Presbyterians caused a civil war when they tried to introduce it to our church, but now I think it's one of the finest things ever. And Roman Catholics use it. Some Orthodox folk even use it, and Presbyterians now use it. It's a fantastic wee book. Anyway, there we are. Amen. Who else have we got in here? God bless you all. There's some big stuff happening. I'll see if I can get some pictures for you while I show you a film, because there's the Haywood guys. You remember the guys we helped, the Christian Defence Guards, the Haywood Guards? They had a brilliant demo at the weekend. Really good. I should have pictures here for you, but I've been so stressed out. 2 printers in this office went in the blink. 2 printers. We've had them for years. We got them cheap, but 2 printers have went in the blink, and it's just took me the whole day to do a wee simple job, because now we do a lot of work for the pro-life groups as well. We promised to do them something, and it's took me, I don't know, 8 hours. No, 6 hours. 6 hours to do something that should have took 25 minutes. So I've got a firm coming in next week to see about a new printer. And this financially, that's such a waste of time, waste of resources. We have to cure it. So we'll get it sorted, don't worry. Anyway. Not many Presbyterian churches in my area. Maybe just as well, because most of them are away with the fairies now, Brian, sadly. That's a fact. So, yes, big news. It's all been heating up in Glasgow. Glasgow's really kicking off big time. There's been about 7 or 8 sort of mini riots in Glasgow. You wouldn't believe it's happening there. There's 2 foreigners, 2 Africans, allegedly had a woman captive for 3 days, raped her, blah, blah, blah. They went, the police arrested them, took to court. They got bail. They got bail. Now, these are foreign nationals. Their flight risk is probably extreme. They got bail and the judge let them out and they returned back to their home in Glasgow in a projects, a poor working class area. People were not having it. And there was a massive riot. And the police had to come, big numbers of police, 50, 60 police had to come and get them out for their own safety. And the crowd were trying to get them, trying to lynch them. And rightly so. Let's have a look at some of that. I know we're going to go into the Iran war thing, but we'll go into that in a wee minute. But have a look at some of this stuff. Now, this is happening all over Glasgow. Cranhill, Rockhill, Springburn, Neilston. It's happening all over. So here's one of the incidents here, and it's the same thing. Foreigners interfere with our women, and people are not having it. And Glasgow's a tough city, so it's kicking off there. So have a look. Oh, and remember, we've just started helping some of the street patrol groups in Glasgow. So just in the nick of time. Thank you. Have a look.
You're fucking beast! You're fucking beast! Fucking beast! Fucking beast! Beast protecting bastards! Fucking wait till it's your daughters, eh?
Obviously, they have a very honed tongue in Glasgow. It's a rough old place. But here's some more. Look, have a look at this.
Beast! 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 Beast!
You're fucking crazy, beastie bastard!
Bit rough. You see the guy with the orange jacket flying in, banging him. I mean, it's rough in Glasgow, and this has been happening all over Glasgow the last couple of days, last week. Really getting rough in Glasgow, really, really getting rough. And here's another one in Glasgow where the people are out in the street. It's getting out of hand now. It's really getting out of hand. Wait a minute. Go over that. Have a look. And there's many more I could show you. This is happening all over Glasgow. Big, big crowds. Hundreds of police flooding these areas with the batons, wanting to attack the people. For why? I mean, what is going wrong? What is going on? Let me tell you something. Anybody who is a right wing and a patriot puts a hearty tweet up in this country. The police come at 4 in the morning, arrest them, and they don't get bail. They refuse bail. But 2 Africans hold a woman hostage for 3 days, allegedly subject her to a horrible sexual ordeal. They get caught. The police take them to court. So the police are doing their job, and the judge gives them bail. Just lets them go. Out. You can go to bail. We'll see you in 3 months. And then they go back to the same street, the same house, and the same block of flats where the victim lived. Can you believe this? I'm surprised nobody's dead. But it'll happen. It'll happen. Glasgow's a very rough place. And when the Kosovos went there years ago and started stabbing people, killed a couple of locals, 5 or 6 of them get killed. One of them get thrown over the bridge onto the freeway. The Russia, very nasty. But you know what? As a good brother Roger there said, when the police start enforcing unjust laws, chaos ensues. And of course it does. If you're going to enforce these outrageous legal decisions, and I feel a bit sorry for the police because they've been told what to do by the PC woke bosses. Of course, the society is going to unravel, and that's what's happening. It's unraveling. So I wonder, Ewan's in there. I know we've only got the link for the Haywood guys, but we could put a link up there because it's the Glasgow guys now. I'll be going over in the next week or two and giving them all the stuff we've got so far and supplying them one of the groups in Glasgow. But there's now 2 groups in Glasgow. There's one in Edinburgh, there's one in Aberdeen, there's one in Falkirk. These groups are spreading because this is happening now. The same uprising you've seen in Northern Ireland, as I told you, the people in central Scotland are the exact same people in Northern Ireland. We're not Scots and we're not Irish. We're Scotch-Irish. So they just don't put up with this stuff. They just don't put up with it. So it's beginning to go mad. That's what we could do in internment camps, military bases with razor wire. Absolutely. So if you want, can you put a link up to the street patrol guys? Really need your help, folks, because this is really heating up and getting crazy. Stuff keeps coming up here on this Discord. Why are people on Discord when the show's on? Why are they not in here instead of on Discord? I don't know. But there we are. So things are getting extremely mad. Now, I just wanted to show you the local paper. Well, this is the paper for this county. So this is the paper this week. And obviously we had big celebrations this week. But wait till I show you how many pages are dedicated to it. Wait till I show you. Hold on. So we have in this paper. Answer the thing. We have, wait a minute. So we have there, supplement. This page, this is how ingrained this is in our society. I don't know how many pages is that, 5 or something? 6, 7. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Look, this thing in the road. Still going. 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. This is just our local paper. 22, 23. My goodness, I'm getting fed up doing this now. 24, 25. Nearly finished. That's it. Yeah, 25. So 25 pages is given our annual parades and so on and so forth. But that's the same all over the country. I think Sammy's in one of these as well, isn't you, Sammy? Yeah, you're in a couple of pages. So there we go. So it's not just a wee local thing. It's a big thing. It's a big thing. And I was out leafleting demographic leaflets on the 14th of July amongst a crowd of 100,000. Got out loads of leaflets. Very good indeed. But there's maybe, I don't know, there's maybe about 20 local papers in this country, and even the national papers. It's just page after page after page, because everybody's involved in this, not just some people. Everybody, the whole community, the entire community. Now, we've got another big parade in 2 weeks up in Londonderry. That's the Siege, the Alamo, No Surrender and all that. And there'll be about 150,000 at that. I'll be there. With some of the Templar brethren over from Scotland and whatnot. And then at the end of July, we've got another one for the Black Preceptory, and that's another 100,000 plus. So I'll be a busy man this month, very busy man. So there we go. So there's the link for Haywood, but that'll also cover for Glasgow and anywhere else. Okay. Now let me just see if I can get you a picture of the Haywood boys. Just bear with me. I'll see if I can get you a picture of the Haywood boys. Hold on. Let's top. There we are. There's the Haywood boys away. Where'd they go? Where is the Haywood boys? Where are the Haywood boys? There we are. There we are. I'll get you another one. I'll get you 2. Our man in Haywood. Where is he? There we are. Yeah, that's a good one. Okay. So here's some of the boys in Haywood. The weekend, Saturday, the big parade. I must try and get a juice. Okay, and here's another one. Here's our man, Jamie. There's our man, Jamie, with some of the people up on the stage. Okay. Very good. I'm going to try and get this email that you sent me, Sammy. You sent me a picture of the floor, didn't you? Yeah. So there we are. It's wonderful, isn't it? Oh, let me just try and get you something else here. I'm going to try and get you something else. Inbox. Let me see if I can get it for you. Sammy, I don't see the email in here. No, don't see it. Sammy was meant to send me an email, but I don't know. It's because one of the floors are down, and I'm desperate to show you it. So, it's not here. Nope, definitely not here. Nope. Last thing I've got is from Jada. I don't have yours. So, hold on, it's coming now. There we are. Sammy Dowson. Let me. Oh, dear me. I'll come battering through now. So, let me just get this nice picture for you. Okay. Save image as. And I should be able to upload this for you. Should have done this before the show, but I was just so busy. You've no idea with these things. So there we are. Okay, show you this picture. Okay. One of the floors down, bedroom floor. Check this out. What do you think of that? Let's see if we can get another one. Okay. What do you think, folks? And there's the other picture of it. So, there we are. What do you think of that? What do you think of that floor? Nice floor. Nice. Jade is doing okay. Thank you. Nice. Do you like it? Pretty cool, isn't it? It's pretty cool. Let's have just another look at that again. Look at that floor. Check it out. It's really nice, isn't it? I love that. It just looks the business. It's absolutely beautiful. Beautiful floor. So there we are. It's and another room's almost finished. We had a guy out doing it. He fell over and hurt himself, and they disappeared. Never seen him again. But he hadn't done it very good because it's very intricate that to put down. George says, "This isn't how you do it." You know, George. No, this isn't a good job. No, I have to come up. And he redone it. But George is good, you know that. Sammy, put that light on above me. It's turned dark all of a sudden. My face is very red as well. There's nothing wrong with blood pressure, in case you're wondering. It's the colour in this thing's went a bit doolally. I'll do. The colour on the screen or something, I don't know how it works. But anyway, okay. It's very beautiful, isn't it? Then we put the skittings on. You won't see any of the gaps around the edges or nothing. The skittings have started to go on. But what a floor. I mean, is that beautiful or what? I just can't go over it. I can't go over it. And remember, because of you guys, we got that at a good price. Remember, I was getting at a deal if we hurry up and bought it, and we bought it quick, and we got a good price on it. This will be a chapter house to be proud of. This will be all the Hungarians are nose about to join, the Poles, and they're nose about to join. We have the best chapter house in the world. I think so, anyway. It's wonderful. Anyway, back to this, carry on. Is World War III around the corner? Well, it's maybe a lot closer than you guys think. Because no disrespect, but the Americans tend to live in a bubble. What's happening right now is very, very, very serious. Very serious. And Donald Trump seems to be walking right into a trap laid by these people. These people want to draw America in. Right? Just think about this. America has offered Iran $500 billion. All the money back that people have sanctioned, took off them over the years. $500 billion. What is $500 billion? I don't even know what $500 billion is. Is it 500 billion? I don't know. I don't know what $500 billion is. I don't know what it is. 5,000 million? I don't know what a trillion is. But America said, look, you can have $500 billion. Okay? We will end sanctions. They've been under sanctions since 1979. Can you imagine it? And they've still survived and thrived. We will end all sanctions against you. Yep. And we will withdraw from these. We promise we won't get near you again, and you can do your own thing. And they would be then the most powerful country in the entire Middle East. They will be more powerful than anybody else. And they said, "Nah, you're okay." Does that sound logical to you? When you're dealing with somebody with America's immense power, does that sound logical? Not really. Because of these, you're not dealing with a normal country. Now, I'm not saying they're particularly bad or evil or any of the rest of it, but you know, if it was you and you're up against a massive, massive power, 10 times more powerful than America, and you were a religious fanatic, and you thought, if we're going down, you're all going down. This is how these guys think. This is scary wary. This isn't Saddam Hussein. This is not Iraq. This is not Afghanistan. This is a different ballgame. And of course, what they're doing is every day the war goes on, they're getting pushed closer to Iran, closer to Russia, and closer to China. Now, yesterday I heard one of the American administration saying that they're going to be looking at putting sanctions on China. Are you mental? Are you completely insane? We've already got sanctions against Russia. So Russia and China are absolutely 100% behind Iran. Now, the targeting Iran's been doing lately has been very different, because here's the thing that a lot of people don't know. Up until recently, Iran was running off a GPS. That's an American run satellite system. In Russia, they don't use that. We supplied stuff to Kosovo. It wasn't GPS. It was the other system, which is illegally obtained in this country, but we managed to do it. Anyway, Now Iran's working on a completely different system, and they're obviously being helped. Now their targeting is incredibly accurate because the Americans, this made me laugh, the CIA and the Mossad were interfering with the GPS, and when Iran was trying to target places, they were putting false coordinates in. Brilliant, absolute stroke of genius. And Iran was firing all their missiles, no hitting the right places most of the time. Some of the time they did, but most of the time they didn't. But now they've got this new system, and it's extraordinarily accurate. And they're obviously getting intel from China and Russia. And people are saying, well, we're going to punish. Well, the Americans are saying we're going to punish China and Russia. Do you want to maybe start declare war on Mars or Jupiter or anybody else you've maybe missed out? Really? I mean, this is nuts. And the minute this gets any more serious, I'll tell you what's going to happen. You've heard it here first. China's going to attack Taiwan. If China attacks Taiwan, it's all over for all of us because all our semiconductors, everything in your phone, everything in your traffic lights, everything, blah, blah, blah. All those semiconductors, all those bits, all come from Taiwan. Now, in the last few years, we've been trying to build up our own capabilities, but it's nowhere near yet. So the West would be massively impacted if Taiwan's even disrupted, now I mean taken over. But what choice, as people like Russia and China got, what choice have they got? If they're going to take out Iran, their oil supply is gone. If they're going to take out Iran, their power base in the Middle East is gone. Do you honestly think China and Russia is going to allow that to happen? If you think that, you're very, very, very naive. That will never happen. Not in a month of Sundays. And I'll tell you what this feels like right now. This feels like early 1914. Remember, at that point, Britain was what America is now. We were the massive rulers of the world. Nobody could compare with our power. Not America, not Germany, not Russia. Nobody could compare with Britain. We had the biggest navy, we had the biggest army, we had the more arms, we had the biggest manufacturing capability. We were the king dogs. And we were cocky and we were arrogant. And this feels exactly like early 1914. And then we went to war. We said, what did we say? Famous things. We'll be back by Christmas. In April 1914, we said, don't worry, it'll all over be Christmas. All over be Christmas. Don't worry about it. And 4 years later, and 1 million dead British, 8 million dead Germans, but 12 million dead Russians and all the rest of it, we thought, oh, all right. And then after 1918, when the First World War was over, we were no longer gung-ho, no longer cocky, because it was such a bloodbath. We thought, And I have a horrible gut feeling that this, what we're watching right now unfold with Iran, is America's approach to a 1914 situation. It's not good. And it could be global any minute. Remember how precarious things are. If Iran hits the water desalination plants, and there's two that provide 96% of the fresh water in the whole of the Arabian Peninsula, that whole country with all those Arab countries in it, all those wealthy, Dubai and all the rest of it. If they knock one of those plants out, it's all over. That place, that whole region cannot sustain human life if they just knock one of those desalination plants out. Just one. That place is no longer habitable. Tens of millions of people will have to move to somewhere where they can survive. It's that serious. So Iran's got a lot of cards. America can blow them to bits, can blow them back to the Stone Age. They just need to hit one of those plants and it's all over. It's all over. And again, none of the ships are moving again. Because Iran doesn't even need to hit ships. They've hit 2 or 3 last night, but they don't need to hit ships. They don't need to. They just need to threaten to do it. And then insurance companies won't insure the ships, so they don't move. Lloyd's of London won't insure them. And that's exactly what's happening. Now, I've seen Donald Trump the other day boasting that Iran fired 111 ballistic missiles at one of the aircraft carriers. And he said, not one of them hit. We shot down 111 of them. Yeah, because they're pretty... It was a statement. It wasn't an intent. They have got hyper ballistic missiles that will take an aircraft carrier out, no problem. And there's not a damn thing you can do about it. They come up and they come straight down Mach, whatever it is. And there's no weapon system on the planet that can stop that. So they could do that. They can do that right now. They can do that and take out an aircraft carrier. Money's on it. 5,500, 6,000 men. Yeah. These are religious fanatics. They have decided they're going to go. They're going to fight to the death. And this isn't some wackos with a donkey and a couple of sheep or goats running about their house. These people have got serious weaponry, especially now supplied by North Korea, Russia, and China. So those 111 rockets fired at that aircraft carrier was a statement, not an intent. But maybe it'll become an intent. Now, they have, people we've spoken to in Iran have told us they are convinced that in the very near future, America might be forced to use a nuclear weapon on them. And they want that. They will do what they need to do to drag America into this worldwide conflict. And I don't understand for the life of me how these clever men like Donald Trump, Hesketh, and these other guys, I don't understand how they cannot see this. The whole world can see it. We can see it. It's plain as the nose in your face. And if they do sink an aircraft carrier, there is no doubt in my mind that America would use a tactical nuclear weapon on them. No doubt at all. No doubt at all. And then everything that we believe in, everything, we're going to work and doing this and doing that and watching a bit of Netflix at night, all of that stops. All of that stops. You're into a worldwide conflagration, and goodness knows where that'll end. Goodness knows where that ends. But that's what's happening. And most people cannot see it. And I don't know how they can't see it. I'm thinking, if a wee guy sitting here outside Belfast can see it, how on earth can these clever guys in Capitol Hill not see it? These people in Iran are a different breed. They are religious fanatics. They're very educated. They're very fundamental. And they've survived thousands of years fighting against the Sunni, who are the majority Muslims. They've fought against empires, British Empire, and in past years before Islam even came out, they fought against Alexander the Great and all the rest of it. They are survivors, and they're very, very serious people. And I just don't think this is going to end well. I think this has got the potential to go really badly for all of us. Because if America sneezes, we get the cold. And that's the problem. Now, I came across a guy online. I don't know if you know him. Don't know if you know this guy, but we'll see. We'll see what you think of this guy. But I found this guy online, and he seems to have a good handle on it. His name is, what is his name? You maybe know him. I don't know if he's a lefty, he's a righty. I don't know, but he was quite sensible what he was saying. Preston Stewart, he's an American commentator. So let's have a wee look at this. About nine minutes or something, but it's interesting to look. So have a wee look at this and see what we'll come back to, okay? How do we get it?
Combat operations in Iran, but things might look a little different this time. A U.S. official just stated, quote, "We don't have enough air defense and long-range munitions to safely sustain operations." Additionally, the Yemen-based Houthis have now joined the conflict, earlier today announcing a blockade of Saudi Arabia effective immediately. And last night, the Iranian-backed Shiite militias across Iraq and Syria warned that they too will begin targeting U.S. bases if American strikes in Iran continue. And by all accounts, those strikes are not only set to continue, but to escalate here in coming days. In fact, President Trump a few moments ago issued a statement saying, quote, "Every time Iran kills an American soldier, they will pay for that killing many times over." This directive has been passed on to Secretary of War Pete Hegseth, Chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff Daniel Kaine, and every leader in the military. So a quick note on U.S. casualties. We have an update as the Pentagon has released the name and pictures of two of the fallen over the last couple days. On the screen here is First Lieutenant Tyler James Feehan, 25 years old, of Hawaii. Lieutenant Feehan was killed in an Iranian missile strike on the U.S. Air Base in Jordan. He was assigned to the 2nd Battalion, 55th Air Defense Artillery Regiment, 32nd Army Air Missile Defense Command out of Fort Bragg, North Carolina. Also killed in that strike was Private Isabella Gonzalez, 19 years old, of Carrollton, Texas. Private Gonzalez was assigned to the 1st Battalion, 57th Air Defense Artillery Regiment, 57th Air Defense Artillery Regiment of the 52nd Air Defense Artillery Brigade, 10th Army Air Missile Defense Command, based out of Ansbach, Germany. Additionally, when the casualties from that strike were announced, we heard 2 killed in action and 1 missing. The Pentagon updated yesterday that they have found unidentified remains at the strike location, and an examination process is ongoing to verify those remains. The Pentagon yesterday also announced that another U.S. service member was killed in northern Iraq on July 18th during a controlled detonation of unexploded ordnance from a downed Iranian one-way attack drone. That brings the count from the most recent Iranian strikes to 3 Americans killed in action, 1 missing, pending the verification of their remains. And the numbers of wounded have varied quite a bit. The most reliable that I've seen has been likely a couple dozen. Now, turning to the Washington Post article discussing the likely escalation here in the coming days, they quoted a senior U.S. official familiar with internal discussions saying, quote, "The U.S. is planning for a wider war." He added that the Pentagon was increasing the number of military aircraft in the region, but the official, speaking on the condition of anonymity, cautioned that the expansion of U.S. operations will be limited by dwindling stockpiles of air defense and long-range munitions and constraints on the ability to surge more troops and aircraft into the area because of battle damage. And we'll show some of that battle damage here in a moment. Quite a bit of satellite imagery coming out from Iran showing what appears to be significant damage at, in this case, the U.S. Air Base in Jordan. The official said, quote, "We do not have enough to safely sustain operations, and I don't think the White House is aware of that," end quote. Now, the munition shortage conversation is difficult because you're working with a lot of sets of data that is not publicly available. So we don't know how many munitions we've utilized. Let's stick with interceptors for a second, air defense interceptors. We don't know how many we had on hand. We don't know how many we have utilized. We don't know how many we need for the future of the Iran operation. And we don't know how many we need for contingency operations. Like, do we have enough to not just fight Iran right now, but be able to fight China over Taiwan if that kicked off next week? Would we be able to do that and deter Russian aggression into, say, a NATO member state next month? So these are the conversations that the military planners are having. When we say we have a shortage of munitions, I would not read into that we don't have enough air defense interceptors to protect our troops in the Middle East. My read on that is that it's probably we don't have the ideal amount to spread around the entire world. U.S. troops on a global basis at this point. That said, we have certainly chewed through a lot of long-range munitions and a lot of air defense interceptors, and there's a possibility that that shortage and maybe spreading those thinner than expected has led to some of these strikes, some of these Iranian missiles in recent days making it through U.S. airbase. I mean, we've got some imagery here that's coming out showing the effects of those strikes in Jordan, and it looks like one of these appears to be a containerized housing unit, kind of the barracks setup, if you will. With quite a few of those destroyed in this strike. There was another facility, a hangar, I believe, near an airfield that looks like it took a direct hit. And then a third that just came out a few moments ago showing what appears to be another aircraft hangar hit. Now, Iran is claiming that they hit like F-35s and F-16s inside of some of these buildings. I haven't seen any verification of that. But this last one here, it at least looks like a couple drones, likely MQ-9 Reapers sitting out on the tarmac, were damaged in this strike. So it's a bit concerning that Iranian missiles are getting through. And from what we can tell, I mean, that looks like they hit their target. All right. We don't know exactly what they were aiming at, but that is directly on top of some of these buildings on the airfield. Now, we are seeing a continuation of U.S. military assets flow back into the Middle East. So we do have a substantial force presence there. But Iranian attacks throughout the region are continuing. Just in the last 24 to 48 hours, Kuwait announced that an electric plant was hit once again, as well as a desalination facility hit for the second day in a row. So those are the facilities that make the water drinkable for a large portion of folks in Kuwait and a number of different countries in the Middle East. That is a catastrophic situation if Iran continues to go that route. Bahrain earlier today targeted once more. It looked like a number of Iranian missiles fired during daylight hours. Again, not great. Don't want to see that. They seem rather confident moving these launchers out into the open to conduct these launches, these missile launches, while the sun is up. And then not long ago, we got notification that at least 2 ships have been struck in the Strait of Hormuz. So the traffic through the Strait of Hormuz is back to effectively zero. It is, for all intents and purposes, shut down. The IRGC released some pictures and video showing one of these tankers getting hit. They put out an announcement saying last night, 2 oil tankers that were acting illegally and intended to enter and exit the dangerous and accident-prone southern route of the Strait of Hormuz exploded and were prevented from moving. As long as America's evil actions continue in the region, this route will not be safe for the passage of chemical fertilizers or even a single cubic meter of oil and gas. So if it hasn't been clear quite yet, it's clear now. Iran's plan is to completely shut down the Strait of Hormuz. The only ships that they will allow passage is without attacking is moving along the northern path, the northern approach close to the Iranian shore. But it's not clear that any ships or very many ships at least are going to be willing to risk that at all right now. Now, in terms of the expansion of hostilities, you got to have a caveat on this, a big asterisk on the end of this one, because it's 2 parties that have made threats before, and we haven't really seen them get involved. It's a bit of a wild card that Iran has in their back pocket. The first is the Islamic Resistance of Iraq. This is a group of Iranian-backed Shiite militias across Iraq and Syria. They do have a fair amount of firepower. They have a lot of drones. They have a significant amount of fighters available to them. They largely sat out the first phase of this war. They issued a statement last night saying, quote, "The Islamic resistance reiterates and emphasizes that it will directly join the campaign against the American enemy if it continues to expand its aggression against the Islamic Republic, and that it will act with strength and determination against all American interests and bases in the country and the region." A quick note on that is if you go back to, there were, I think it was 2 American service members killed during the attack on a tower in Jordan a couple of years ago, and the U.S. said, we are going to respond. And the response was pretty overwhelming and killed a lot of the senior officials in a variety of these militias under the Islamic resistance of Iraq. We saw, by and large, those groups just back down and say, we're just not going to get involved anymore. We're going to let this play out. Generally the same took place during the initial phases of this war, but it wouldn't be shocking if they sense weakness to want to get in on the, quote, victory. I mean, no doubt Iran has declared victory a little prematurely in this conflict, but you can see a scenario where these entities maybe are less concerned about the U.S. going after them if they think especially that we're on the verge of maybe leaving some of these bases in the region. This could be viewed by the Islamic resistance of Iraq as an opportunity to kind of plant their flag and take some degree of ownership if they think the U.S. is on the verge of leaving or negotiating some sort of settlement and maybe stepping out of the Middle East. It's reading a lot into this, but just something to keep back of mind. The other one here is the Houthis. So the Yemen-based group, Iranian-backed, they just announced a few hours ago that a blockade of Saudi Arabia is in place, effective immediately. We should mention that as of this recording, there appears to be no impact on ships moving through the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. They issued this warning. They said it is fully in effect. We haven't seen them enforce it quite yet in terms of drones or missiles or unmanned surface vessels or raiding parties attacking any vessels in the Red Sea and the Gulf of Aden. But real quick, it's worth bringing up a map to show how kind of precarious of a situation the Houthis could bring to the table here. So map here, we got Iran up as we zoom in, Iran at the top part of the screen, Persian Gulf, Strait of Hormuz. When we zoom out a little bit to give you an idea, with all of this effectively shut down over the course of the last couple of months, traffic through the Red Sea has kind of been a savior. And one of those reasons is Saudi Arabia able to export a lot of their products through the Red Sea. The Houthis down here in Yemen have the ability, if they want to shut down the Bab el-Mandeb Strait. They've done that before and came under pretty significant attack from the U.S. and Israel, but they still maintain that capability. Right now, they're saying that Saudi Arabia will not be allowed to move anything at all. So it sounds like they're going to try to affect Saudi exports to the north, but certainly through the south. So if the Persian Gulf and the Strait of Hormuz is shut down and we start to see any sort of reduction in the Bab el-Mandeb Strait and the Gulf of Oman and the Red Sea, you start to kind of have an exponential effect on, say, gas availability, fuel availability around the world. Of course, head over to Sal and what's going on with shipping. I'm sure he's got a much deeper dive into the Houthi threat here. If not now, he will here shortly. All right, so in terms of things to watch for here in the coming days, 3 things stand out to me. First off, the U.S. strikes. Are we expanding the target set? Will the strikes that are carried out, tomorrow or the following day look all that different from what we've seen already? There has to be some sort of change. We expect the next wave of strikes to do something that the last wave didn't. There has to be some degree of change. Now, it did look like in recent days, the U.S. has started going after more infrastructure targets. We've seen bridges and rail lines and roads taken out leading to Bandar Abbas. It's possible we're trying to isolate that area. So anyway, it's going to be interesting to see what the U.S. targets as these strikes intensify. The second piece is going to be the effect of Iranian strikes in the region. We have seen a number of impacts in places like Bahrain, Kuwait, Jordan now as well. What does that do to the resolve of our allies in the region? They are taking the brunt of these Iranian attacks right now. Are they still willing to hold the line? Do they start to give in and maybe pressure the United States to try to bring about some sort of negotiated settlement in the near term? And then the last one, of course, the U.S. missile defense in the region. This was a pretty surprising couple days with a number of Iranian missiles and drones apparently making it through U.S. air defense. Is that a one-off? Did they get lucky? Was it new targeting that they were able to take advantage of? Or is this indicative of a change in what we might be able to expect in this conflict for the near future? So 3 items I'll be watching here in the coming days. But that's all we got for now. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
I think he's quite good, that boy. Actually, I don't know who he is, but I think he's quite good. Interesting. Why is that thing still playing? That's it. I think he's quite interesting, and he's quite right. Now, regardless, why are Iranian missiles being so accurate now, and they're hitting the bases really flat out? I've seen an aerial view of a base the other day, and they'd hit the hangars, and hit some of the planes on the runway. Obviously not from our media because we're not allowed to show that, but it was from Indian media, Hindustani Times or something like that, and it was quite serious damage. Now, why are they doing that now? Well, let's be honest. Let's not mince our words here. They're getting helped by China and Russia. China and Russia are giving them pinpoint accuracy data on targeting, and they're controlling the targeting because the Iranians are very, very switched on and very smart, but they're not that good. They're not that good. They are getting serious help at the top table by the big powers like China and Russia. So this is a declaration, saying to America, listen, if you want to dance, we're going to dance. And I'm horrified to think that people like Donald Trump and Hesketh are thinking, okay, we'll dance. I mean, this is madness. This is a form of lunacy. This is a form of lunacy. The reality is, in that part of the world, these people have got us by the short and curlies. They really have. And there's very little we can do, actually. We can defeat them. Yes, of course we can. We can blow the place to bits. I mean, Iran's the size of Texas and California and maybe a couple of smaller states put together. And it's a very mountainous, horrible country, terrain. There's nearly 100 million people. It's a big old place. And they've got the proxies in Iran. Iraq has got millions and millions of these Shias as well. Same as in Yemen. Same in other places like Bahrain. There's a load of these Shias as well. And it's a very easy place to destabilize, but it's an area that the West has built their entire industrial revolution on. They don't have to shut the straits forever. They just have to cripple it. Brother Roger there says 11 ships moving right now. 11, maybe 200. We can't sustain this. I mean, already our prices here have been up 25% for heating oil in the last 2 weeks. And that's only in a trajectory upwards. So the big problem is going to come in October, November, when we notice the size of the harvest, because we've not been able to get a lot of fertilizer out. And that's a big thing that's going to impact us. But you would wonder, you say, well, why are you so cautious, Jim? I'll tell you why, because I'm a gung-ho guy normally, but we've got to be sensible. I'll tell you why, because with that experience in the First War, we danced into it. We're all glad. Oh, hey, we're going to go and fight the Germans. Oh, we'll be back by Christmas as heroes. And it didn't work out like that. Millions upon millions of people died. And it kind of freaked us out a bit. And then in the Second War, have a look here at London. Have a look at this. The entire city of London's under that. That's marking where the bombs fell, and I think each dot represents like 1,000 bombs or something. That's the entire city of London, which is 40 miles wide, 40 miles wide, because we don't have there's no high-rise buildings in London. It's flat, so it's about 40 miles by 50 miles. Look at it. Absolutely annihilated by the Blitz. It wasn't just London that got it. Here's a map of Britain showing you the density of the German bombing over the UK. You'll see even Glasgow, Edinburgh. What they've missed out there is Belfast. Belfast had the biggest casualty in one night in the whole Blitz during the Second World War. But look at that density in the UK. Look. And that was back then when they were flying bombers and things like that. I mean, 70,000 people in Britain died in the Blitz. 70,000 civilians. Can you imagine sitting in a little terraced house in a highly compacted area with kids, and there's bombs dropping out of the sky and there's nowhere to go? You just have to sit there and pray. And people did pray. Most people didn't have air raid shelters, anything like that. Or what the government used to give us here. This is funny. The government here used to give us tin sheds called Anderson shelters. Just a piece of corrugated tin that you build your barn out in America. A piece of tin about that high and about 6 foot long and about 6 foot wide. And you dug a wee pit in your garden and put it in and sat in it. You just sat in it. I mean, seriously. Made you feel better, but what a load of nonsense. My father never bothered. He says it's a waste of time. Waste of time. Completely. It's just nonsense. But that's why we're a wee bit cautious. I mean, look at St. Paul's Cathedral in London round about it. Look at the state. I don't know if any been to London. There's St. Paul's Cathedral standing there. So St. Paul's Cathedral standing there and the city of London's round about it. How St. Paul's Cathedral survived, well, it was a miracle. It was a miracle of God. But look at all the streets round about St Paul's Cathedral. It's dead centre, middle of London. If you've been to London, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. All of that's gone now. It's all new buildings because it's incredible. So that's why we're very cautious, because if we're not careful, this could spark a big war in Russia and China and all of that stuff, all that horrible stuff. I'll all be involved in it, and goodness knows where we go from then. Goodness knows where we go from then. There's about 2,500 civilian casualties so far in Iran, which is nothing, because when you compare it, was 1 million civilian casualties in Iraq. So there's a couple of thousand dead in Iran. But if the gloves come off in this and it ends up in a total war, unlike previous wars, this will spread. This will be a global conflict, and nobody's going to come out of this. If we dared bomb China, they will bomb us, and I mean Britain and America. They'll bomb. If we bomb them, they'll bomb us. I mean, just let that sink into your heads for a minute. This is no play acting. This is no joke. This is serious. You know, you can only get about slapping people about so long before you get slapped back. And there's every possibility that if this doesn't calm down soon, this is going to spread. I just have a horrible feeling, brethren. I have a horrible feeling it's like 1914. And I don't want to see our people. I don't want to see our people attending funeral after funeral after funeral. And if there is a ground invasion into Iran, I think it'll be the maddest thing ever since Vietnam. And you're going to have 50,000 body bags, 50,000 American boys and girls coming home in bags. We might kill 1 million Iranians. Don't doubt it. Guess what? The Iranians will go, million, don't care. They lost 1 million in the war in the 1980s fighting Iraq. You kill 1 million Chinese, wouldn't even make news. You kill 1 million Russians. We know it's happened in Ukraine. Nothing. Kill 1 million or 500,000 or even 100,000 American boys or British boys. Our countries would collapse, you know that. Our countries would have a collective anaphylactic shock. We couldn't deal with it. We just couldn't deal with it. But our societies are not built that way. We just couldn't deal with it. So I want us all to pray. I mean this. I want us all to pray for wisdom, for clarity of thought, for restraint, and for common sense to prevail. Because this is craziness. I'm looking at this thinking, has everybody went stark raving mad? Well, we know the Iranians are mad. They are stark raving bonkers. They are religious fanatics, crazy heads. But so is the Iranians, so is the Afghanis, but they're just sheep molesters, goat molesters. The Iranians are a serious outfit. So I don't know what's going on. It just seems to be incredibly foolhardy what we're embarking on. You know, as far as I'm concerned, the quicker we get out the Middle East and leave them to their own devices and let them kill each other till they're blue in the face, the better. I can't stand any of them. And I just don't think anytime we get tangled up in them, it never ends well. It didn't end well in Afghanistan. It didn't end well in Syria. It didn't end well in Iraq. When are we going to learn? Leave these savages to their own devices. We don't need to worry about them. They'll kill each other if we know about. You know that. I know that. They will destroy each other. Happy days. We'll come in, sweep up, take their oil, back to normal. That's my opinion. Anyway, that's my opinion. To hell with them. So that's my... what does that say? The church is slammed today. Does that mean busy? Very good. That's a good news. Yep. Yeah. There'll be no combat. This next war, there'll be very little combat. You'll be getting hit with drones and funny weapons that we don't even know the meaning of yet. But you know, the quicker we get away from these wretched people in the Middle East, the better. They are a pack of mad, religious, crazed savages. And we should just stay the hell away from them. But my plan, I think I've got a good plan. Leave them for 20 years, see what happens. I'll tell you what happens. There'll be nothing left. We can go back in and take the oil. We say, oh well. So we might have 20 years of roughness, but we're going to save our boys and girls. And then we're just going to take it because they will wreck themselves. And, you know, somebody said to me recently, you know, there's over like 5,000 palaces in Saudi Arabia. See if one of those water desalination plants goes out. There's no palaces in Saudi Arabia. These will be turned into pens for goats. And because these people are nomads, they're Bedouin by nature, you know. And sometimes people say to me, you're an imperialist. I mean, you just want to take all their oil. Well, what are they doing good with? They're crazy. These people are crazy. And the quicker we get away from them, the better, as far as I'm concerned. So I know it sounds a bit imperialistic, but there we are. Now I'm going to Big John's just in. Big John Kopasaki's in. John, we've got one of the floors down. Have a look at this. John, what do you think of that, boy? Huh? Look at that. What is that? No beautiful. Is that not a beautiful floor? Is that a beautiful floor? I think it's wonderful. Good, John. I know you work in the church. It's been busy. Excellent. Andy Lightman says the Israelis have wound up. Of course they are. The Israelis are behind most things. Absolutely outrageous. John Kopasaki says, beautiful, love it. I thought you would. Yeah, Brian Sillick says, I'll be worrying about Iranian-sponsored state terror. Oh, there's no doubt about it. Listen, the problem is, in your country, in my country, we have millions. Well, you don't have millions, but we have hundreds of thousands of these Shias in Britain. I don't know how many Shia. Let me just check before we go, right? Let me just see. Let's see how many Shia live in the USA. How many Shia Muslims in the USA? Because the other Muslims won't help them. Let me see. How many Shia Muslims? I don't think you've done that many. Oof, dear me. Well, estimates. What do you mean estimates? Why don't people know? Estimates say between 300,000 and 1 million. That's an estimate. So that means nobody knows. So you don't even know what these people are. It's anywhere between 300,000 and 1 million. That's 700,000 of a gap there. So that means nobody knows where they are and what they are. So there could be 1 million Shia, 1 million living in the USA. Let's just say that figure. Let's just split that figure and say between 300,000 and 1 million. That's a difference of 700,000. Split it 300,000. So let's just say there's about 650,000 Shia living in the USA. Oy vey, as they say in Brooklyn. What? 700,000 of them living in your country. Oh my goodness. So who knows? Yes, domestic terror could be a big problem for America with 700,000 of them boys running about the place. Doesn't bear thinking about. Didn't know there was that many in there. That's a huge range. You're no kidding. Biden opened the borders. Exactly. Nobody knows. Biden opened the borders. You don't know how many's come in. And listen, these Iranians aren't stupid. You're not dealing with Saddam here. You're not dealing with Afghans. You're dealing with smart people. Aryans. They will have flooded America and Britain and Germany with their sleeper cells. Make no mistake about it. And they will be all-versed. They will be au-fait like the IRA, making giant bombs out of fertilizer, stuff like that. I mean, the IRA used to make 1-ton bombs. One went off in the next town here, 1993, a ton bomb. Anybody with a rudiment knowledge of explosives can make one of them. And so you've got 700,000 of them Apaches running about in America. Doesn't bear thinking about. But anyway, all we can do is pray. There's some things we can do as men, other things we can't do. And this is one of the times where we just have to pray for cool heads, wise decisions, good counsel. We need good counsel around President Trump, good solid counsel, not Benjamin Netanyahu and his bunch of lunatics who are only interested in the welfare of Israel, not in America. And that's the problem. So let's pray that the Lord would intervene in this and sort it out. Because what can we do? What can we do? We're just people. But anyway, God bless you. So I'll be giving you some reports recently. There's been attacks in the synagogues in Britain recently. That could be anybody. But I'll give you some reports of some of these militia guys. But things are heating up now in the UK. It's not just Northern Ireland sort of sparked it. Now everybody's trying to mimic the UK. But sadly, there is a lot of these fake groups which are government controlled, Fed ops springing up everywhere. And, they're trying to get involved with us. And we're like, no way. No, thank you. If you're no Christian, we don't want to know you. It's as simple as that. It sounds a wee bit harsh, and people are saying, Jim, you should work with pagans. No, we'll never work with pagans. No, it's not happening. No, thank you. And do you know who was over here in Belfast? In Belfast the other day, the leader of the Proud Boys, like he's a Mexican or something, he's dark beard and glasses. Looks a bit gay if you ask me. But anyway, he was over here. He was in Belfast. Never came to see us. Interesting. But he was over here, the guy who runs the Proud Boys. I think Trump let him out of jail or something. I can't remember his name. Does anybody know his name? Do anybody know that guy's name? The guy who runs the Proud Boys. I'm sure he's Mexican or something kind of name. Anyway, he was here wondering about. We never seen him. I don't know why, but maybe maybe a good thing. So there we are. Okay, I'm going to get off here and leave you to it. Last thing I make show you. You know the local band, when we come over here for the 1970, I always take you up the hall and show you the band. Well, last week was our big day, and across for the right outside the chapter house next to the pub. They done a wee performance for the crowd. Have a wee look at this before we go, but I'm going to play you out with a beautiful American song. But have a look at this first. Nearly forgot about it. Sorry about that. Have a look at this. What do you think of that then? That's militant Christianity right there, right outside our front door. Marvellous stuff, isn't it? Marvellous stuff. And then later on, they come down with the giant war drums. They're about 4.5 feet wide, called lambegs, and they brrr. I'll show you a video of that next week. Big war drums. Unbelievable. So there you go, right outside the front door. So come over here 1 July. Stay in the chapter house. You can look out the window. You don't have to go out, but most people are in the pub. So spectacular, isn't it? Mad stuff. Mad stuff. One of your brothers here said, Scott Phillips said, yeah, a lot of these groups are infiltrated by the feds. Yeah, we know. As him, Enrique Tario or something. To be honest with you, I wouldn't have went and met him. I've got to tell you that. I don't trust the guy. I wouldn't have went and met him. I don't trust him. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some of the brothers could set me right there, but I don't trust them. Anyway, I'm going to leave you now with a beautiful, beautiful song. It's a lovely song. I had it looked out for the July and then I forgot about it because I played a different one for July. But this is an old American revolutionary song. Yes, an old revolutionary song. And it's got old-fashioned words that belong to this part of the world. And it just reminds me of this place so much. It just does. It reminds me of us so much. And it's wonderful. And God bless America. And thank God for the American Revolution. Now we need another one. We need one this side now. This side of the pond, okay? So God bless. I want to leave these until I'm back again. Remember, stick close to God. You won't go far wrong. Deus Vult.
Torn from a world of tyrants beneath this western sky, we formed a new dominion, a land of liberty. The world shall own, we're masters here, then hasten on the day. Huzzah, 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 huzzah for free America. Lift up your hands, ye heroes, and swear with proud disdain. The wretch that would ensnare you shall lay his snares in vain. Should Europe empty all her force, we'll meet her in array, and fight and shout and fight and shout for free America. God bless this maiden climate, and through her vast domain, may hosts of heroes cluster who scorn to wear a chain. Then guard your rights, Americans, nor stoop to lawless sway. Oppose, 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 oppose for North America. Some future day shall crown us the masters of the main. Our fleet shall speak in thunder to England, France, and Spain. and nations o'er the ocean spread shall tremble and obey. The sons, the sons, the sons, the sons of free America.